has Abarth designed an electric hot hatch that is fun? Now, if you know me and you know my channel, you will know I'm a big fan of the hot hatchback. Sadly, this genre of car has become an endangered species. So many of them have died, but there is a new Abarth. There's one difference though. This is electric. Now you may hear that burbling in the background. If you'd like to follow me, you can hear what sounds like the sporty, raughty note of the 1.4 turbocharged petrol, but no, this car is fully electric. So can this be a proper hot hatch for a proper old school petrol head like me? Well, let's jump in and have a quick spin. So as you can see on this camera, I'm joined by Pocket Rockets. He's had a quick spin in the car, and no doubt he'll give his opinions as we drive along. Now this drive is only about 15 or 20 minutes. I'm at the SMMT test day, so I do get the chance to drive this car, albeit for a limited amount of time. So with that in mind, let's get onto the road.
So important thing to start off here is that the car is in Scorpion track mode, which is pretty much everything turned up.
Everything dialed up to 11. Okay, so let's start off with the performance. So this is powered by a 42 kilowatt hour battery, 155 horsepower. I was expecting a bit more.
Yeah, a bit more, yeah.
235 newton meters of torque, 0 to 60 in 7 seconds. So on par with what the old petrol Abarth would give you. Now, Abarth has been banging the drum saying that this is the best Abarth ever, and essentially saying that EV is the best thing that could have happened to this car. And because of this, they've thrown out some rather interesting stats. One of them, you'll have to bear with me on this one, is that from 12 miles per hour to 25 miles per hour, this is 50% faster compared to the petrol one. And we've got a pheasant. Move, pheasant. They're such stupid animals, pheasants. So yeah, if you own a petrol Abarth, this is 50% faster in and around town.
It's such a stupid statistic.
One thing I do want to nitpick though is the range. Now on a combined run, you're looking at 157 miles of range. I mean, I'm sorry Abarth, that is pathetic. Granted, this is going to be, well, this is likely to be a city car because it's small, nimble, you can just yeah, definitely a bit of understeer there. You can dart in and around town, but even so, yeah, I would have expected more from the range. Granted, if you drive this only in the town, I think the range goes up to about 200 or something. I'll have to correct myself with the subtitles. But anyway, why am I driving this like a granny? This is an Abarth. So, I've just been a passenger in this car with Chris, driving like a lunatic. Oh, blimey, yeah, there is a fair bit of understeer.
Yeah, it does, yeah.
And I have to be honest, it was pretty good fun. What is it like as a driver? So the brakes feel pretty good. That sound generator does take quite a bit of getting used to. So tight.
I don't think you could ever get used to it. Right there, mate.
Yeah, there's definitely some understeer.
Yeah. Does
Now,
it fill you with confidence in sort of
no,
that?
I would like a tighter turn in. For context, this weighs a little over 1,400 kilograms. Yep.
Wow.
More specifically, 1,410.
I mean, it hides its weight pretty well. I didn't know that until just now.
It does, but I would like it to be a little bit tighter.
Yeah.
Now, again, in the Abarth Abarth was saying that compared to the old car, this has got a more crisper, sharper turn in.
Yeah.
And from initial impressions, granted it's been quite some time since I've driven a petrol Abarth, I don't know, I'm not quite feeling it. Now, compared to the old car, this has got a longer wheelbase. I think, yep. And it's also got a wider track as well, so that should help with handling.
Yeah. You're giving it full throttle, yeah? If you felt...
Well, well, this is the weird thing. With this being an EV, obviously the power and the torque is instantaneous.
Yeah.
The problem...
What was that?
Don't know. I was picked up the voice recognition.
Cancelled.
Because you said a bar.
Oh,
And then after that,
the problem with that is that from the get-go, from standstill, this does feel
yeah, it feels
quite quick.
proper
But then it kind of plateaus and it kind of falls off the cliff a little bit.
Yeah, and it's weird to compute because you've got your foot planted on the throttle, like buried into the carpet, and it's not giving you anything more. It's just one sort of...
Yeah, you don't have that same progression of power as you would do as a petrol.
Yeah.
It isn't necessarily a complaint. Well, it kind of is, but it's more of an observation. It's that, so let me, nothing behind us. I'm going to brake. So
probably the best
actually, to be fair, let's just stop completely. So 0. So that feels fast. Yeah, that's pretty good. And then all of a sudden, it just goes. It just kind of eases off a little bit. Now, one thing I do want to commend on this car, and Chris said the same thing when he was driving. He didn't film for his channel, but it's the ride.
Yeah, it surprised me. It really did. Because from when we did the road trip to Scotland.
Oh yes.
In the 695. It was
595. Yeah, convertible.
The ride in that was horrendously firm, and when you're going to Scotland,
well, I did I think 13 hours in that car.
Yeah, and you had obviously the Seatbelt seats, the funky seats from memory.
I don't think I did. No, I didn't. I had the Turismo seats, so they were leather.
Oh, okay.
So they were a bit more comfort orientated.
Yeah, and the ride was appalling. It was terrible, and that's coming from me owning an ST180. And the ride was bad in it, but I was coming into this thinking that it'd be the same, or that Abarth would have refined it a little bit, but safe to say they've actually done a really good job on that department. Yeah,
the ride is pretty good.
And I mean, the hill isn't exactly smooth.
No, I think, I'd say, although the wheelbase probably hasn't been extended that much, I think that definitely helps with the ride comfort.
True.
But we're now stuck behind a train of cars. Got a Spider RS, that's nice.
Yeah, it's very nice, isn't it?
Yeah. So whilst we're just kind of pootling around, the interior leaps and bounds over the last car.
I mean, the previous 500 platform was about 200 years old. Rumour has it that the dinosaurs were around at the same time.
No, I think it's more like 250 years. But
yeah, it was the car definitely needed some revitalisation, didn't it?
When I drove the hybrid version of the last Fiat, I got a bit of stick. People said, "Oh, well, of course it looks old-fashioned. It's meant to be retro." It's like, hang on. There's a difference between something looking retro, something that's designed to look old, as opposed to something that just looks old.
Yeah, you know, when it was getting to the point where it's old, that Fiat were just adding on additions for the fun of it. Like, oh, there's this addition, there's this addition. And just like dragging it out year by year. It definitely needed some sprucing up, and I think they've done a perfect job on that.
I definitely think there's a difference between something being retro and something being dated. The last Fiat 500 interior was dated.
Yeah, definitely. Yeah, it's all this Alcantara in here. Everything's
got nice digital dash.
There's a few plastics in here. Yeah. But despite that, it's very simplistic in here. Very nice. I like how you've got two buttons to open the door. You've got an electric one at the top here, and then you've got like a manual pull flap.
Because Fiat knows it's Italian electrics. It knows it will at some point just fail on you. As I mentioned earlier, the range isn't fantastic, which may put some of you off. I'm afraid it isn't what you'd call cheap either. There are two trim levels available: 500e, which has a starting price of £34,195, and Turismo, which has a starting price of £38,195. The base model offers features including 17-inch alloys, matte grey door mirror caps, sport seats, 10.25-inch touchscreen, 7-inch digital display, LED lights, climate control, reversing camera, keyless go, sound generator, wireless Apple CarPlay and Android Auto, JBL sound system, traffic sign recognition, autonomous emergency braking, lane keep assist, speed limiter and 3 driving modes: Turismo, Scorpion Street and Scorpion Track. The range-topping Turismo adds to this with 18-inch diamond cut alloys, Alcantara interior, central armrest, fixed glass roof, 360-degree parking sensors, keyless entry and start, heated front seats, automatic high beam, blind spot monitoring and wireless phone charging pad. It is fun though. Credit where credit's due. Has Abarth designed an electric hot hatch that is fun? Yes. There, I said it. I feel a bit dirty for saying that, but I
might need a bath afterwards.
Hey! But I have to be honest, this is genuinely good fun. I just think the range is quite a big letdown. Yes, if you're
come on, take the scenario. You want to go on your favourite Alp and you want to take your hot hatch, and you just happen to have this in your garage, and you go and take it out. You're not going to last very long in the mountain, are you? Really?
No.
This sort of car. And let's face it, as you said earlier, yes, okay, this is technically a city car.
Yeah.
Obviously with the performance side with it, but you're more going to take it on a B road. And Aaron's just buckled in a bath wheel.
That definitely,
run away!
That definitely tested the shock absorption for sure. As an
I just lost a tooth.
That was an industry test. I think
it's meant to do that.
I think their bath passed. It may have hit the bump stops.
How do you find the seating position? Because that was a big right from the previous car.
It does feel a little bit lower compared to the old car from muscle memory, but yeah, it still feels like I'm sat on the car, not in it. It almost feels like I'm wearing it.
Seats are very comfortable though.
They are comfortable. And they're very nice as well. I love the yellow and blue stitching.
I like how they've put the optional back seats in there. I mean, like, you're sitting in the back.
Yeah,
Go and launch it one more time just for culture. And then dies.
Yeah, and it just kind of plateaus.
I feel as well, if the sound symposer element was like a little bit more dynamic, it'd just make the drive a bit more interesting.
Yeah.
Just add a bit more character to it.
I mean, as much as I think the sound generator needs tweaking, this will shock you. I don't mind it.
Really?
Yeah, well, the thing is
I think for me, because I know it's fake, it annoys me.
Fine,
but because that it's got a very like monotone.
It is quite monotone,
pitch,
yeah.
It just winds me up even more because it's like, well, you've done it on purpose and it's fake because this is an electric car, but you haven't gone to the effort to actually like add some pops and crackles and stuff. Like just that alone, I think it'd make it even more engaging, and you'd probably take away the talk and stuff that dies out when you're like. But
from a starting point, bearing in mind this is probably quite new technology, well, I don't mind it. I know the sound generator has been a hot topic on the videos in this car.
Yeah.
I'm gonna put it out there. I don't mind it. It needs fine tuning and tweaking, but at least it helps. It tries. Abarth are trying to give this car a character, and you have to applaud that.
The big test will be when you're in the Ioniq 5N later. To see the difference, how they've perceived sound symposer in an electric car. If it adds that character that you'd get from say an i30N, where it's got the drama, the pops and crackles. Look, don't get me wrong. Yeah, as you said, they're trying.
Yeah.
I just feel it just doesn't seem right. I'll never agree with it, no matter how it tries to tempt me. But look, don't get me wrong. Forget the EV side of it. This is definitely a big evolution to the previous generation.
Yeah, exactly.
Even the standard car. I mean, I know we're in the Abarth version, but yeah, no, they've done, even the Fiat 500 in this generation is a very nice car to look at. Yeah, no, I am impressed considering that it is powered by a hairdryer. So
we are approaching the Abarth stand now. I've got to give the key back so someone else can drive it. I mean, to answer the question, can an electric hot hatch be fun? Honestly, yes, it can. I've genuinely had a bit of a laugh. Well, yes, I have had a laugh with this. Would I want to live with one? Maybe not so much. It needs a bigger range, but I don't want to bang on to that too much because, some of you in the comment section will just probably absolutely have my guts for garters. But yeah. Anyway, back at the Abarth stand, I'm being directed in.
Oh, he wants you to drive round and come in.
Oh, I see. I mean, that does make more sense.
Yeah, so you don't have to sit there reversing it.
Yeah. But there we are. Yeah, so if you have enjoyed this video, if you found it useful, be sure to like, comment and subscribe. Don't forget to subscribe to Pocket Rockets, this man here. Also subscribe to those two guys.
Yeah,
but yes, if you are subscribed, don't forget to click the bell icon so you get notified every time I make a video. But until the next time, guys, be sure to keep up the car obsession.